The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening, this is TV1 News. I'm Maricela Kelleton. The Lae City Authority has increased the Lae Hand-Up program budget to 4 million kina. Member for Lae and Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso said since the launch of the program on June 1st, 2020, 2 million kina had been allocated annually until this year. They have now increased the budget to 4 million kina to cater for the capacity. Rosso said the program assists mothers, widows and people who are a little bit hard up. It's a two-part program that also trains participants in financial literacy. Most of these marginalized residents had never had bank accounts until they joined the Lae City Hand-Up program. They work 3 days a week for 6 to 7 hours per week. Initially, the program was an initiative of the Lae City Authority working with the PNG Australia Partnership and Westpac Bank. However, LCA had to partner with BSP instead. Hence, the women and youth who are taking part have opened BSP accounts. The Morobe Provincial Administration recently presented new sets of police uniforms to the Lae Metropolitan Command. Morobe Provincial Administrator Max Bruton stressed on the need to create a conducive environment for business to thrive, which would lead to economic growth and poverty reduction.
A reduced crime rate means increased economic growth. Morobe's Provincial Administrator Max Bruton outlined this during the recent presentation of 390 new uniforms to the Lae Metropolitan Command.
I advise the Honourable Governor and my team that, look, in order for us to have the conducive environment or get the enabling environment right for the investors to come in, to invest in our Morobe province, we must get a law and order right. And to get law and order right is to, and so we support abolishing in the province.
Bruton said Governor Luther Wenge has agreed with the sentiment and will commit some funding to boost police operations in Morobe.
So I'm glad to speak to you all because you are the important partner in so far as our service delivery is concerned. We got to get enabling environment right, and to get enabling environment right is to ensure that we get law and order right. So, Metsup and your men, I am very, very happy as the administrative head of the province. Over the last 9 months, I want to thank your leadership. I want to thank each and every one of you for, maintaining law and order.
The new police uniforms were purchased by the Morobe Provincial Administration's Corporate Governance Unit, headed by Deputy Provincial Administrator Miring Singoling. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
Lae City should be expecting 2 major development projects in the near future. Lae MP and Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso said the first one is the 42 million kina double-story market, where construction will soon start. Rosso said designs have been completed and the project, which is in partnership with the Australian and New Zealand governments, is now going through the procurement process. Another development already designed and awaiting funding is the foreshore development at the DCA beach. The Lae City Authority plans to develop it into a leisure facility for the people of Lae to enjoy. A declaration of emergency has been made by Minister for Petroleum and Energy as a direct result of the current disruption in the supply and distribution of fuel and petroleum products and foreign exchange. At this morning's media conference, Karangakua said the declaration of emergency intends to achieve two objectives, the first being an interim measure to maintain fuel and petroleum product supply in PNG, and the second being the long-term objective to ensure that the country's energy demand, including fuel and petroleum products, is permanently stabilized.
The ongoing fuel saga faced in Papua New Guinea has ended with a further decision by the government for a 30-day declaration of emergency. The declaration of emergency sets out a plan of action to investigate, among other issues, the Bank of PNG's 13 allegations against Puma companies. Minister for Petroleum and Energy, Karangakua, announced that a declaration of emergency has been made as per the National Executive Council Decision number 215/2023.
We've never done it before. We've never declared a state of emergency under the National Energy Authority Act and Combination 1 Essential Services Act. This will be the first time.
The declaration of emergency exists within the meaning of Section 1361 of the National Energy Authority Act 2021 and Section 4 of the Essential Services Act 2002. It will be in full force, affecting all parties involved for a period of 1 month. It is in effect from today, July 31st, up to and including August 31st, 2023.
That is an interim measure. Last Friday, Miet na Treasurer Bloyumi, Honorable Ian Ling Staki, na Acting Governor blo Bank of Papua New Guinea, na Managing Director na Senior Staff blo BSP Bank, mipla meeting. Mipla meeting na mipla reaching one pla agreement that whilst we work through this emergency work plan, as an interim measure, Bank of Papua New Guinea will agree to maintaining supply of foreign exchange.
The Bank South Pacific has issued a notice of intention to close all the Puma company's operating bank accounts upon expiry of 90 days from the date of notice, which, if effected, would be the 8th of September 2023. In response to the action taken by BSP, the government has directed Minister Kua to instruct the Bank of Papua New Guinea to provide the authorized foreign exchange dealers. This includes BSP Bank for access to Puma Company's bank accounts to be maintained and a continuous access to the supply of foreign exchange within the period of the declaration of emergency to enable unhindered production and supply of fuel and other petroleum products until the completion of the investigation.
In exchange for that, Puma must refrain from stopping the supply, and it must allow uninterrupted supply of all fuel products, including aviation gas, to all our customers throughout Papua New Guinea.
Minister Kua said the Essential Services Act imposes very strong penalties against individuals and corporate persons should they fail or refuse to comply with directions issued under the emergency declaration. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
Minister for International Trade and Investment, Richard Maru, says he is happy with his most recent visit to China. Minister Maru looked at possible locations in Shenzhen to open a new trade mission following the closure of the Papua New Guinea Trade Office in Taipei, Taiwan. He met with the Shenzhen government and private sector where an agreement was reached between them and the Ministry and the Department of International Trade and Investment for the new PNG trade mission to be in a very prestigious office building in Shenzhen. Minister Maru added that PNG is also serious about its relationship with China. He said PNG's current exports to China is valued at 5 billion kina, whilst China's total value of exports to PNG is worth 1.5 billion kina. With more mining and petroleum projects coming on board, China will continue to be PNG's biggest market in the future. This is TV1 News. After the break, we'll have news from overseas.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase EasyPay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Enjoying life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Hot in talk, young or old, let's calories, family meal with home. We'll bring out the smiles, cause it's our favorite of mine. Sandy, see, cola, scare, rice, long scales, scale price. Sandy, see, cola, scare, rice, long scale, scale price. Amber, you like it?
Papua New Guinea. We love a reason for a family gathering. A reason to play. A reason to ignite the flame. A reason to cook the best with the best. Flame oil, now PNG made for PNG cooking. Flame oil, winning taste.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Prime PNG made.
The Toyota JD Hiace bus comes in 14 and 15-seater high-roof luxury model powered by 2.8 liters JD engine for optimal performance output, fuel efficiency and quietness, designed with improved safety features and easy maneuverability for tire steering angle. The Hiace lift suspension and annular frame structure is opted for smooth ride, comfort and safety. Experience the ride on the Hiace bus and experience the Hiace pride, the bus that exceeds all expectation.
The ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023 is almost here.
What a beauty! He's on absolute fire! Sensational! Phenomenal! What a goal! Lewandowski! Vivaldi on a volley! Oh, that's quality! What a sight that is! Timbers just starting to bubble up. Here's the labour!
Welcome back. Australia has committed to strengthening the government of Papua New Guinea's efforts in addressing and mitigating the spread of the coffee berry borer pest. This will allow for an increase in production and export of quality coffee beans. The Australian government, through the Australian Papua New Guinea Economic Partnership, has committed to support the PNG Coffee Industry Corporation in collaboration with other stakeholders within the sector to provide financial and necessary technical assistance in developing and implementing a CBB management plan in major coffee-producing provinces. Australia's support will build on CIC's current work after recognizing CIC's current efforts, strategy and challenges in managing CBB. In Oro Province, with over 360,000 hectares, the Managalas Plateau is Oro's largest conservation area, a unique ecosystem that is pivotal in tackling global climate change. When French President Emmanuel Macron arrived in PNG last week, it was to advance France's two main objectives, one of them building international consensus to fight climate change. The visit solidified a commitment between both countries to work together towards the formulation of a country package for forest, nature and climate for PNG, starting with the Managalas project. The province's governor, Gary Juffa, told the visiting president that PNG has a front-row seat to the greatest emergency that the world has ever faced, climate change.
In this time of climate crisis, threats to all forms of capital have emerged. Although financial capital and political capital appear to have been preferentially prioritized over underlying natural capital and social capital. Moreover, solutions and actions are often considered so globally universal with little attention to local contextualization. Most international targets and goals are not legally binding, and to many are also not morally or logically binding. These circumstances urgently need to change, and visionary leaders are greatly needed. This is where leaders such as you can step in, trumpet our cause. It is the greatest need of humanity right now to all rally together to save ourselves. Collaboration is the only route to survival. One nation's wealth may be translated into power, but an economy which does not protect its environment will be destroyed by the wrath of the earth, who has been abused for too long. We must march together towards a new future, a future of trust, cooperation, sharing, and equity. To do this, we must be brave and leave the past behind.
In addition, the state visit from the French president and his delegates brought about the signing of 4 documents. The agreements will foster cooperation with respect to greening financial systems in the country, ensuring resilience to climate-related risk, as well as channeling finance for conservation and adaptation to climate change, and 133 million kina in finance for a project that Expertise French will manage in PNG. Prime Minister Marapis says the bilateral meeting with the French was fruitful. Marapis said the signing of the agreements is a demonstration of the French government's support not just to the Pacific, but especially for PNG. Hauleneme Primary School and the community at Aresili village in the Ambuntindrekike district of East Sepik were excited to launch a new double classroom funded by Digicel PNG Foundation on Wednesday, 26 July 2023. Through Digicel PNG Foundation's Education Infrastructure Development Program, the school received a double classroom building that included 2 fully furnished classrooms that came with student and teacher furniture, whiteboards and pinboards. The project also includes solar rooftop panels and a 9,000-litre Tafa tank and a wash facility.
Seeing the terrible road condition, the community in Aresili village in East Sepik fixed the 2.5-kilometer road leading to the school in preparation for the launch of its new double classroom. Hauleneme Primary School is one of the latest schools to get a new double classroom funded by Digicel PNG Foundation. Through Digicel PNG Foundation's Education Infrastructure Development Program, the school received a double classroom building that included 2 fully furnished classrooms that came with student and teacher furniture, whiteboards and pinboards. The project also includes solar rooftop panels and a 9,000-litre Tafa tank and wash facility for students. The community had been working alongside NAB's building contractors since February this year to complete the classroom. Teachers, students and the administration at Hauleneme Primary were overjoyed to receive a fully furnished classroom from Digicel Foundation. School Board Chairman Bernard Engime thanked Digicel PNG Foundation for recognizing the need and selecting Hauleneme Primary School as one of the recipients for its infrastructure development program.
What 14 800 plus population. The classroom now teacher becomes Sanapim Law Hauleneme Primary School and the 7 planning committee. They got all line floor, not floor, what areas of Beckham, or line floor 33, or line floor 15, and up. Now, at the same time, the slab will put you other 800 plus population staff.
Digicel PNG Foundation was pleased to see Hauleneme Primary School and the community at Aresili village taking ownership of the project from the start. This 350,000 kina worth project brings the total investment in East Sepik province up to 3.5 million kina, with 7 primary and 7 elementary schools, 2 libraries, 4 ambulances and 5 community grants.
Awesome. If you want something, come up with your best time. If you are looking, if you are some reasons of funding, time if you are we can make it. We can make it. What I paid with this year, like you know, maybe that is it. Now, come up from us, we talk about some channel, we talk about community, all together about it. I'm not about the way we are. We plan to think about them coming back.
To date, Digicel Foundation has invested a total of 169 million kina in all its projects across PNG, and it continues to work in partnership with the government, communities and key stakeholders to ensure we create a world where no one is left behind. Salome Vincent, TVWAN News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.2800 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2715 $0.4052 Australian dollars, €0.2386 and 37.87 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, copper, palm oil and copper closed higher. The rest closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. And that ends this segment. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
He loves the Maroons. He loves the Blues. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bungim Yumi.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Add your kakaro, get up a big smile on face. Time for give chicken a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier by you like you more.
Hardware House launches the low-cost quick build kit home, built with quality building materials from the leading manufacturer of steel products and kit homes, Atlas Steel. Going now at introductory prices: 1-bedroom kit home at 79,000 kina, 2-bedroom kit home at 99,900 kina, and 3-bedroom kit home at 125,000 kina. You can also opt for solar units to be installed in the kit home at an extra charge. For more information, email info@hardwarehouse.com.pg.
Superstition ain't the way.
Gets a bounce. There it is. Score underneath the post for the Broncos.
Through the Community Grants Program, civil society organizations can apply for grants of up to 50,000 kina, which are focused on delivering development projects in line with our funding priorities. Applications are now open. Applications close in September 2023 at 5 p.m. For more information, visit foundation.digitalpacific.com.
Welcome back. In regional news, this time last year, travelers to Bali and Indonesia were being warned about the devastating foot and mouth disease outbreak in livestock. Fast forward a year, and another disease has got authorities on high alert. In recent days, Indonesia has stopped importing live cattle from 4 Australian export facilities over fears relating to lumpy skin disease. The Indonesian government has told Australian authorities that a small amount of cattle shipped from the Northern Territory, Queensland and Western Australia have tested positive for the disease. 13 cattle are infected, which is a big deal because Australia maintains it is free of lumpy skin disease. There are 2.6 million unpaid carers in Australia, with some as young as 12 years old. They're often unable to finish their education and enter the workforce, leading the federal government to increase grants funding for unpaid carers going through financial difficulties.
Draper Shaw's childhood has been far from normal. Since he was just 4 years old, he's been caring for his younger brother Riley, who was born with a rare genetic disorder.
He would spend most of his time in hospital, then, well, I would really have to just help Mum get him packed up, get him ready to go into the hospital.
In more recent years, Lockie's mum Shannon has been ill, meaning he's had to take on even more responsibility.
I had to start doing the dishes, doing my bed, making lunch, making dinner, because Mum wasn't able to do it.
Yeah, his world again changed, but he just thought it was normal, so that's sort of what you do. So a lot of pressure was put on him in that time with me as well.
The role of caring also having an effect on his schooling and social life.
I missed out on my first year of reception, so I missed out on like the spelling year and all that. And then I wasn't really able to go to missed parties because like Mum was sick and yeah, she couldn't really drop me off.
Lockie is a recipient of a grant funded by the federal government for young carers, and it's making the world of difference.
Buying Lockie uniforms and getting him a laptop that he needed for school, all of those sorts of things. If we didn't have the funding, I as a single mum just couldn't afford it at all.
An additional $9.75 million has been allocated to support unpaid carers through the Young Carers Bursary program. Nearly $4,000 is available per grant for carers aged between 12 and 25.
Really those things that young carers have to do really take away from their ability to lead a normal life.
Something Lockie, the aspiring sports coach, is determined to achieve.
A new study has uncovered how widespread workplace discrimination against new parents. Parents have revealed feeling excluded, having their roles changed, and being denied flexible leave when they return to work.
Life can be a juggle as a new parent. Being off work comes with its challenges too. Ali Kalali was offered redundancy both times she had a child.
That's the ground kind of shaking underneath you while you're spinning around and around.
She says big decisions about her career were made without her being consulted. Motivated by her experience, she now counsels working parents.
They feel as though the workplace is maybe questioning their commitment, their capability, and even their ambition.
Researcher Rachel Potter is studying how rife workplace discrimination against new parents is in a national survey of about 600 parents.
I was really surprised at how common all the different types of discrimination someone can experience is.
The study looks at discrimination before, during and after having a baby. It's found pregnant women were denied training opportunities. While on leave, about a quarter had their jobs altered against their wishes, and on the return to work, about 2/3 felt they were ignored, excluded or being monitored. More than a third also reported copying offensive remarks for having to take care of their sick child. Under Fair Work rules, employees have the right to return to their same job, and any big changes must be discussed. Flexible work hours can also be requested.
Employees need to consider the cost to them and their employee if they don't provide a more accommodating workplace.
The Paris Olympics will be the first to see an equal number of men and women competing. The same can't be said for female coaches, with an ambitious target now set to achieve gender parity by 2032.
These young hockey players in Queensland are coached by an Olympic champion. Former hockey-roo Angie Lambert never lost her passion for the game when she retired from playing professionally.
And so I started doing individual sessions, small group sessions just with local kids, and then I didn't see a career for myself in coaching.
While her transition was organic, Margot Wilton's moved hemispheres to pursue her passion for mentoring elite beach volleyballers.
How are you going to manage that?
She's one of just 3 women coaching on the sport's international circuit.
There are multiple corporate jobs where females are leading, so why wouldn't we do that in sport?
The same questions being raised by the International Olympic Committee, which will achieve gender parity among athletes for the first time in Paris next year. The number of female competitors has been steadily increasing at each Games since London 2012. The number of female coaches is much lower and remains stagnant.
If you can't see it, you can't be it. And so naturally a lot of us think, the best coaches out there are men.
The Australian Institute of Sports developed a mentoring program aiming to break down barriers.
So let's get maybe 3 or 4 in yellow. The imposter syndrome, where you feel like as a female you have to work so much harder to prove yourself.
Coaches also recognise it's a role that requires a round-the-clock commitment.
You're also 24/7 available for your family and your kids. It's hard to combine this.
But the leadership landscape is changing, with a goal to have equal representation among Australian coaches by Brisbane 2032.
And that ends the news segment. Join Rex Lita after this break for more sports and news.
It's in the highs and in the lows. It's in the big things and the small things too. It's hard to put into words, but you'll know it when you see it. Terrain Tamer, when quality counts.
Remember the joy of playing with your toys as a child? At Money Plus, we believe that every small business deserves a chance to build and grow. That's why we offer asset financing.
Now chance to building something new, to see a different point of view. With Money Plus we're ready to go.
Mipla halivim wari belong you.
St. John Ambulance, how can we help you?
Calls like these are a part of our day-to-day routine at St. John Ambulance.
Office base, this is Alpha 130. We cannot locate the patient or the house.
Our crew is unable to locate you. Ma'am, I would like to send you a text which has a link that can help us find you.
Introducing the GoodSim application. When you click on the link, you give us permission to log into your location and get to you in time.
Confirmed office base. Alpha 130 has arrived on scene.
Challenge for a World Heavyweight Championship match right here. Oh! Here comes the man. Swanton bomb! Oh my God!
And everybody loves Seth freaking Rollins.
Right now, we're facing a man-made disaster of global scale. Our greatest threat in thousands of years, climate change. If we don't take action, the collapse of our civilizations and the extinction of much of the natural world is on the horizon.
When I first moved to LA, signs on all the doors said, no actors or dogs allowed. I changed that.
And now, y'all ready for something different? Whoa!
Babylon premieres Saturday, August 5th, 10 p.m. on HBO.
Timbers just starting to bubble up. Here's the leg.
Welcome in sports. What a thrilling showdown in the men's and women's corporate volleyball as the final showdown begins with over 20 teams from various companies and organizations vie for stamp a mark in the finals. Teams displayed incredible skill, determination and true sportsmanship on Sunday at the In-Service College.
As the corporate volleyball finals intensify, 20 teams are on the edge of their seats to make the final stage. On Sunday, 30th July, the volleyball family captured the essence of the game, with teams all setting a pace with a good show of skills by the top teams playing down to the final 5 sets. It was exciting with updates from the women's plate category. In the second elimination final between ANZ and Department of Works and Highways, ANZ bowed out in the finals race. In the women's plate category minor semi-final, Digicel could not afford to lose when they regrouped in the third set to come back from a 2-0 set to take out the remaining 3 sets to win against a tough Bank of PNG team. Bank of PNG proved too strong in the opening 2 sets with good service hits and found room to place the ball as Digicel lost focus in the opening sets. It was a must for a comeback or dash their finals hope. Digicel played down to the 5th set to win 3 sets to 2. Digicel now advances to the next final stage. In the other plate category match, Government House proved a better side, beating Money Plus, and NCDC walked over IPA in the first major semi-final. Finals continue this Sunday. Susan Oreape, TVWAN Sport.
After losing 2-0 in the National Soccer League Grand Final rematch against Hekari United FC, Ley City FC head coach Bob Morris remains confident that his side can defend the championship title. With potential still there, Morris said players will have to establish combination among themselves and discover their mojo. Reigning National Soccer League champions Ley City FC started their 2023 campaign slow with a handful of new young players joining the team. The new recruits are still finding their foot in the team, working on building their combination, which obviously impacted the results of their matches. Some experienced players are still nursing injuries, another challenge that's had the team starting the season slow. With sponsorship now gone, it doesn't help the cause. Losing the long-time sponsorship of Ley Biscuit Company has had a team on a low, trying to adjust to the new environment under Ley City Authority. However, head coach Bob Morris said it is not an excuse not to defend their championship title as best they can. Coach Morris remains optimistic and confident in his boys. With the new lads on board, they need to find their winning combination. The National Premier Soccer League competition round 5 match between Ley City FC and Hekari United FC has brought more drama than an upset victory for the home team. The slippery condition due to bad weather denied both teams opportunity to put their best performance. Also, Ley City FC head coach Bob Morris is unhappy at overall refereeing. The veteran coach said referees selected to officiate NSL matches should come from top leagues in Port Moresby or Ley. They should also undergo training during the week leading up to the event. Morris reckons there were a few bad calls against both sides, pointing out the offside offences that were called against his team, which thought strange. He would like the management of the PNG Football Association to look into making better referee selections. Making the finals for the first time, red-hot favourites for this year's Digicel ExxonMobil Cup, minor premiers Honor EPG Angamios have reaffirmed their claim on the prize with another emphatic 22-6 victory over brave EMK Civic Pride outfit on Saturday at the Santos National Football Stadium. With one more round left before the top 6 teams are finalized, Miox have accumulated 29 points after 15 rounds and are comfortably 6 points clear of second place Ley Snakes Tigers, who are on 23 points on the overall competition table.
A dominant first-half performance by competition leaders EPG Angamios held a walking wounded EMK Civic Pride scoreless 22-0 at half-time, but the brave Pride found some fighting spirit to stop the Miocs' second-half surge. They were rewarded with a try through some individual brilliance from left winger Adel Mikaiva, putting the final score 22-6 at full-time. After evading a first-loss situation last week and getting away with a draw against a relentless Vipers outfit, the Miocs made sure they started strong against the Pride on Saturday, which they did, scoring 4 unanswered tries in the first stanza. It was Miocs' powerful middle back rower and Hunters reject Limpy Henry who started the scoring spree with the first of a double in the 5th minute to lead 6-0. Now the short side play back on the inside. Oh, good work here from the Miocs, and it's a Limpy Henry. He will race away and score. Miocs speed machine and 2022 Rookie of the Year Joel William was next to cross the line, left corner for a 10-0 scoreline. Play continues with the Miocs. Slick passing again. James William, he will score. Miocs' third try came in the 31st minute from a kick and chase by Kevin Yoko for a 16-0 scoreline. Kicks back on the inside. It's got support in Sorrento. Oh, that's a professional foul, but they will go all the way. Minutes before the break, it was Miocs' man of the match, Henry, again powering his way over for his second to surge ahead 22-0 until halftime. Here's Libby Henry working his way over the line, and while he's claiming his second. Pride came back in the second half with a strong defensive attitude that literally shut out Miocs' scoring prowess. In the 55th minute, Pride's left winger Adel Mikaiva created his own luck, slicing through the Miocs' defensive to find some joy, scoring a try and putting some respectability on the scoreboard. Mikaiva makes a break. Mikaiva, has he got the legs? He's going to go all the way against a run of play, and finally Civic Pride on the board.
Minutes or so, they've been asked to hold their line and make a lot of tackles as the
Miocs are back in the winner's circle, beating Pride 22-6. Limpy Henry, man of the match. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Moniplus and CDC Port Moresby Vipers have kept their slim finals hopes alive with a British win 18-14 over traditional intercity rivals Bintango Goroka Lahanis in round 15 of the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup clash on Sunday at the Santos National Football Stadium, Port Moresby. Lahanis took it up to the City Boys from the get-go, setting up a grandstand finish in the end.
A packed eastern end stands of the Santos National Football Stadium was owned by a strong army of red and white supporters who turned up in droves to cheer on the Eastern Highlands franchise. After an intense opening 10 minutes of the first half, it was Vipers who drew first blood through back rower Joe Torombe, latched onto a perfect pass from Simon Arana to take an early lead 4-0. Arana back on the inside and Torombe crazes over. The Vipers on the board first as referee points to the sport. From some good surge deep into the Vipers' half, Lahanis were able to shift right, changing their arms that saw winger Tazi Kawage with a diving try to hit the lead 6-4. They do now, working it back towards the right-hand side. They've got numbers, and they will score. There it is, first try. Tazi Kawage has gone over for the Lahanis. In the 22nd minute, Lahanis were over again, this time from a Charlie Buka spiral, with Kafu Ken, the beneficiary, wrestling the ball off Vipers fullback Vicky Keval to put Lahanis further in front. The big towering bomb, and then it's rolled back into the Vipers, and they will score! Just like a thief in the night. And I tell you what, Junior Vic Keval couldn't believe his bad luck there. Vipers locked forward. Abel Rami scored next from a simple angle run to put Vipers back in it at 10-all until halftime.
Minutes away from the line now. Tonya, the long ball. Rami, the show and go. Runs back and field. Too easy. Abel Rami crashes over for the Vipers' second.
After the break, the epic rivalry continued, but it was Vipers to break the deadlock, kicking a penalty followed by a try to Torombe from a kick.
And play continues. Nikiasu. A wobbly looking kick. The bounce could be favorable. Here's Torombe. Gets his second of the afternoon. Look at the post-try celebration. Referee points to the spot.
With still a quarter of the match to go, the Lahanis' perseverance in attack paid off with an easy put down by left winger for a potential comeback.
Carrara back on the outside, a very easy try. Looks so easy from up here. And the celebration here by the Lahanis supporters.
But in the end, the Vipers hung on to pick up a decisive win 18-14 in their push for top 6 finals in 2 weeks' time. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
And now the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight. Pleasant evening. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.